Hey guys, this is True Stories and we got another interesting story here. The story of Jack Potter and Phyllis is a romantic tale set against the backdrop of World War II. It's a poignant story of love, separation, and reunion that captured the hearts of many. As usual, grab a cup of tea and hear this true story. Jack Potter was a young man from Lancashire, England, who met Phyllis, the love of his life, in a dance hall in Blackpool, a popular seaside resort in England. This was in the late 1930s, a time when life was still relatively peaceful in Britain. Though the dark clouds of war were beginning to gather over Europe, the two were instantly attracted to each other and it was love at first sight. Jack, a kind and gentle man, was smitten by Phyllis's beauty and charm. Phyllis was equally taken with Jack's warmth and sincerity. They began courting, spending time together at the dance hall, on walks along the beach, and in each other's company, falling deeply in love as they got to know each other better. As their love grew stronger, Jack decided to propose to Phyllis. He was earnest and sincere, and Phyllis, who had grown to love Jack deeply, accepted his proposal. They became engaged, looking forward to a future together. However, their happiness was soon overshadowed by the outbreak of World War II in 1939. When Britain entered the war, Jack, like many young men of his generation, enlisted in the military to serve his country. The war separated Jack and Phyllis physically, but their love remained strong. During his time away, Jack wrote letters to Phyllis, expressing his love for her and his longing to return home. Phyllis, in turn, wrote back to Jack, sharing her thoughts, her love, and her hopes for their future. The letters were a lifeline for both of them, helping to maintain their connection despite the distance and the dangers of the war. They promised to marry as soon as Jack returned home. After the war ended in 1945, Jack returned home, and true to their promise, he and Phyllis were married 16 months into their courtship. Their wedding was a joyful occasion, marked by the relief that the war was over and the happiness of being reunited after so many years of separation. Despite the challenges of wartime and the years they spent apart, Jack and Phyllis's love had endured. Their marriage was built on a foundation of love, trust, and the shared experiences that had brought them through difficult times. Jack and Phyllis went on to have a long and happy marriage. They were devoted to each other, and their love story continued to inspire those around them. They settled down in Lancashire, where they built a life together, surrounded by family and friends. Their story became particularly famous when Jack, in his old age, was interviewed for a documentary about wartime romances. In the interview, Jack spoke with great affection and emotion about Phyllis and the love they had shared for more than 70 years. In their later years, Jack and Phyllis continued to live together, but things took another turn when Phyllis got dementia. Jack began taking care of Phyllis as she began to suffer from dementia. Jack's love and devotion to Phyllis never wavered. Even as her memory faded, he continued to care for her, reflecting the deep bond they had shared since their youth. At 91, Jack Potter has been married to his wife, Phyllis, 93, for 70 years. The couple, who have no children and were married on the 20th of February 1943, and lived together at their home in Rochester for more than 50 years until 2007, when Phyllis's health forced her to move to a nearby nursing home. Ever since, Potter visited his wife daily at the home, copper beaches, and reading to her from the diaries he has kept since 1938 when his father gave him a diary for Christmas. A real excerpt from Jack's diary entry from the 4th of October, 1941. Reads,
"Very nice evening. Danced with a very nice girl. Hope I meet her again."
During a celebration of their 70th anniversary they received a congratulatory telegram from Queen Elizabeth herself. Potter says his wife was aware that he kept detailed diaries throughout their marriage, but didn't pay particular interest to his habit. Now the diaries serve as a remaining tie between the pair. Phyllis is very affectionate toward Jack even with dementia and reaches out her arms to hug him when he arrives and kisses his hand when he leaves. Jack Potter passed away at the age of 91, leaving behind a legacy of love and devotion. His story, particularly his unwavering love for Phyllis, continues to be celebrated as one of the great wartime love stories, symbolizing the resilience of love in the face of adversity. Phyllis Potter passed away at the age of 93. Her death occurred shortly after her husband, Jack Potter, who had been caring for her for many years, particularly as she suffered from dementia in her later years. Their love story, marked by devotion and endurance, continued until Phyllis's passing. When asked the secret of their long, happy marriage, Potter told his local newspaper it came down to just a few simple words. "Our motto is Q Sarah, Sarah, whatever will be, will be." These are real pictures of the two.
Subscribe, like and follow if you want more of this content.